أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال أمير المؤمنين في مناجاة الشعبانية: وبيدك لا بيد غيرك زيادتي ونقصي ونفعي وضري إلهي إن حرمتني فمن ذا الذي يرزقني وإن خذلتني فمن ذا الذي ينصرني. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings and felicitations in this blessed month of Ziqada and immaculate events that will be coming up, such as the Dahwul Ard and the martyrdom of the Imams. I extend my condolences and greetings to all my viewers. We've been following the Munajat of Shabaniya for past 6 sessions, and today is our 7th session. We are following the book which is known as An-Najwahay Arifane, which is a commentary by my mentor Ayatollah Tahriri, and also I'm adding a couple of other riwayat, ayat, in order to understand this munajat, this whispered prayer of Amirul Mu'mineen. This munajat is a methodology by which one could reach God. The importance of this munajat, apart from reciting and its spiritual effect as prescribed or as asked by Imam Khomeini in many of his talks, that Munajat Shabaniya is not the munajat only to be recited in the month of Shaban. However, whenever one feels that spiritual urge, one should really embark upon reciting this munajat. There's a lot of hidden spiritual deep meanings within it, and recitation of those verses from this munajat will have a very powerful effect upon the perfection of our soul. Now, we have reached to the verse number 10 of this munajat, which says that بيدك لا بيد غيرك زيادتي ونقصي ونفعي وضري. بيدك, which means that it is by your hands, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The abd is communicating with his Lord, and he's saying that Mawla, O my Mawla, O my Master, it is in your hand and in no one else's hand. Once again, this is pointing out to that aspect of Tawheed, that understanding of Tawheed. Alhamdulillah alladhi yaf'alu ma yasha wa la yaf'alu ma yasha ghayru, as we recite after Maghribain prayer in the Taqibat. Alhamdulillah alladhi yaf'alu ma yasha wa la yaf'alu ma yasha ghayru. Every action, every fail, everything that is supposed to take place is by the Lord, is by the power of Lord, is by the will of the Lord. Everything happens due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the actor of every movement that we see. So here Abd is recognizing that. Here Abd is clearly pointing out to, as he has already pointed out from the very beginning of this munajat. If we refer to the previous verses, we find that وَقَدْ جَرَتْ مَقَادِرُكَ عَلَيَّ يَا سَيِّدِي. All taqdirat, everything is by you, and you are fully aware of it, what is supposed to unfold for me, whether this be in secret or whether this be alani, in open. You are aware of this. Now, here, after accepting all of these different verses which are pointing out to that immaculate Tawheed, that unique aspect of Tawheed, that teaching of Tawheed, for which all of the Anbiya, for which all of the Imams have come and taught us Tawheed. That is the purpose of life, of our zindagi, of our life, is that we come to understanding of Tawheed. And the Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam have taught us in their actions, in their sermons, in their du'as, to really understand the nature of God, to know God, to understand God to the maximum capacity that is possible for a man to understand, and for him to take things from this dunya so that he take it in barzakh and hereafter, by which he carry on understanding Tawheed. So here is an announcement where in this munajat, بِيَدِكَ لَا بِيَدِ غَيْرِكَ, it is in your hands, everything is in your hand. What is it? Ziyadati, increase of it. Naqsi, limitation, loss of it. Naf'i, profit of it. Wadarri, loss of it. So whatsoever is supposed to happen, oh Allah, it is you. You are the one who is supposed to really provide us with. And that's why the next verse clearly points out to Ilahi in haramtani faman dalladhi yarzuqani. Oh Allah, if you make it haram, if you prohibit, faman dalladhi yarzuqani, who is there to really provide me with the rizq? Ilahi in khadaltani, oh Allah, if you do not provide that aid, faman dalladhi yansurani, if you stop that aid, who is there to really help me? It is you, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for us, we have to rely to Allah that He is the ultimate and the powerful and the main actor in our life and no one else. This is Tawheed. Where are those who criticize the Shia school of thought and they say that, Shias believe in tawassul, and tawassul means that this will become a hurdle, or this is a perverted belief in regards to Tawheed. Everything is in God's hand. بِيَدِكَ لَا بِيَدِ غَيْرِكَ بِيَدِكَ لَا بِيَدِ غَيْرِكَ زِيَادَتِي وَنَقْصِي وَنَفْعِي وَضَرِّي. This is Tawheed, brothers and sisters. Now here we are expressing to our Lord that it is in Allah's hand. Now we have to believe that as well. We have to bring this speech, this munajat, this sort of expression into our heart. قُلْ لَا أَمْلِكُ لِنَفْسٍ نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ, as we recite in Surah Araf, verse number 188. قُلْ لَا أَمْلِكُ لِنَفْسٍ نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا. Other than God, there is no one else, that have that, will that would provide with naf or dhar. Illa masha'Allah. It is only God. It is God who have, that nafs in His hand, my nafs in His hand, and He has that ikhtiyar, He has that power. Now Amirul Mu'mineen, in a very beautiful riwayat, he says that huwa al-qadiru lima aqdarak wal maliku lima amlakak. Allah is the qadir. Allah is the powerful one. Allah have that power. Lima aqdarak, whatsoever you have that qudrat with. I have the qudrat to live this. I have the qudrat to do this. I have the qudrat to see, to move. This qudrat is there, but Allah is the one who have that power. Huwa al-qadir, He is the qadir. Lima aqdarak, whatsoever I have power, but He is the qadir. Wal maliku lima amlakak, but He is the real malik, even if I am the malik of this. If I am malik of this, but Allah is the wal malik lima amlakak. I am a relative malik, I am a relative owner. God is the absolute owner. God is the absolute owner. I am the relative one who have the power to do this, but God is the absolute powerful being. We have to really ta'ammul. We have to come to terms with this. We have to really, open our heart to this understanding when we are by ourselves, when we are sitting, when we are thinking. We should always say that God is the most powerful. We should say, Malik, I'm not the Malik. Lord is the Malik. Allama Tabatabai, marhum, may Allah elevate his daraja more and mahshur him with the awliya, the perfect awliya. He says in the Risalatul Wilaya, which is one of the treatises on the practical mysticism, Irfan Amali, in the first chapter he discusses this extensively in order to set the ground for the practical mysticism, that the nizam, that the sort of system that we see, which is based on the fitrat, which is based on the nature of man, to really accept the relative ownership is based upon the nature of man. For example, I would accept some of these secular or outward worldly rules and regulations that are there without questioning it, although all of these rules and regulations are metaphysical realities, metaphysical phenomena. For example, malikiyat, ownership. One cannot point out to physically that this is ownership. This, like for example, I could say that this is a phone. I could physically point out to that this is a phone, but one cannot say that this is ownership. But insan accepts this qanun, accepts this rule. If you are materialist, why are you accepting this qanun of ownership? Say that no, you want to see ownership in its physical form. As you say that we want to see God, because you cannot see God, we will not believe in God. But show me ownership. But you are accepting ownership, and you are making rules and regulations, and you are functioning your life with this phenomena, with this reality of ownership that you cannot touch, but you accept it. But when it comes to God, you don't want to accept it. This is hypocrisy. So therefore, the same way, why one is accepting that? Because it is in the fitrat of insan to really accept the qanun, the rule, the phenomena, the reality of ownership, that ownership exists. Right? Because it is in his nature. So the same way, Allama says that, there is ownership as in reality, but there is two types of ownership. One is a relative ownership, one is that absolute ownership. And this is seen within the worldly affair as well. I go to a place, I rent a car. When I am renting a car, when I am renting a house, I am a relative owner, but at the same time there is absolute owner as such, not absolute in that metaphysical sense which is God, but there is a real owner who is renting this thing out. But when I am renting that property, I am known as an owner as well, but I am known as a relative owner. So there is ownership which is absolute ownership, there is an ownership which is a relative ownership. The relative ownership is like, for example, I rent a house, I rent a car, I rent something, I borrow something, and I am owner at that very instant, because the rule, the qanun, the ruling, for example, if this is in my hand, everybody will say that I am the owner of it. That is the rule. In any secular place, for example, if you have something in your hand, they will say you are the owner, unless it is proved otherwise. If this is proof that I am not the owner, then it is given to the other person if he claims it. But if this is not proved that this belongs to that person, but it is in my hand, I will be considered as the owner of this thing which is in my hand. That is qanun, that is the rule. In the Islamic law, it is this rule, and also in the secular law, it is the same rule. So the owner is, if owner means that if he has something in his mamlekat, in his sort of hand, in his jurisdiction, and if that is not proved that it doesn't belong to him, it will belong to him. So you have two types of ownership. Ownership that is considered as, relative, renting a car, renting a house, or whatever is in my hand, I will be considered as an owner. But still it belongs to someone else. That car belongs to a company, and he's the true owner of it. Now, this could be understood within our human body as well. The eyes, the nose, the ears, my kidneys, my heart, all of these things, I am the Malik. I am the owner of these things, and no one else is the Malik. I am the owner of this, and no one else can be, and it cannot be transferred as such. my heart, I cannot give it away, right? Because it belongs to me and I need it and it is absolutely mine, right? And I have the ikhtiyar of it. No one other have the ikhtiyar of it. No one can come and prove that no, the heart in your body is mine and give me my heart. But no, it is not possible. You see what I mean? So unless, for example, the other examples that we have given, yes, one could transfer it, one could sell it. It belongs to me mutlaqan. Absolutely, it belongs to me and no one else. I am the absolute owner of it and I have the full ikhtiyar of it to close my eyes or to open my eyes, to look left or to look right. I am the owner of it. Nobody will else come and say that, okay, I own your eyes, so you shut your eyes now. No, right? So I am the absolute owner. Now this is also ownership. Now God is this type of owner of everything that is existing in this dunya. He is the Malik-e-Kul. Just like how my eyes is mine, nobody else can. I shut, I open, I do whatever I want. So in the same way, God is that absolute owner of everything that is there. He is the Qadir, He is the powerful, He is the Malik. So when a person, when a Salik, when a spiritual wayfarer comes to term with this understanding that, هو القادر لما أقدرك والمالك لما أملكك. He is the Qadir. He is the one who is the Malik. So it is God who is the most powerful. It is God who is Malik. So therefore, whatsoever happens to us in regards to increase, in regards to decrease, in regards to profit, in regards to loss, it is God. Now obviously, evil, shar, loss, we regard it as evil. We regard it as loss. There is no such thing as evil in the dunya, which we'll look at it later on, but I just want to give you an amazing riwayat, a hadith Qudsi. In a hadith Qudsi, it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look how beautiful this hadith is. I will read it in Farsi because I want to translate the exact meaning of it. The author, Ayatollah, have brought this in Farsi, Ayatollah Tahriri. I will read that in Farsi first. This hadith Qudsi is from Tawheed Saduq. Tawheed Saduq is one of the books which is compiled by Sheikh Saduq, and it has all fascinating riwayat in regards to Tawheed. Amazing riwayat, amazing sort of hadith that are there. And Sheikh used to give a commentary before a lesson on every hadith. Like for example, when we were studying philosophy with him, first he will read one hadith from Tawheed Saduq and he will explain a bit, and then we continue our durus, our lessons that we studied there. Now here says, Bazi az bandegane mu'minam juz ba faqr imanshon islah nemi shavad va agar ou ra bi niyaz kunam ou ra fasid mi kunad. Bazi as bandegane mu'min, some of the mu'mineen, some of the servants who are mu'min, juz ba faqr, I provide him with faqr. I just give him faqr. I just give him sort of poverty. Imanish islah nemi shavad. If I don't give them poverty, their iman, their belief will not be righteous. وَأَغَرْ أُورَا بِنِيَاز كُنَمْ أُورَا فَاسِد مِي كُنَات. And if I make them rich, they will become fasid. They will become corrupt. So in order, it means that in order that their iman be protected, I make them poor. If I make them rich, they will become fasid. Many a times I also think this way. If I was rich, perhaps I would have lost my iman. With all this sort of money and cars and become the prime minister or president because of the mal and mansab and maqam, maybe I slip. Maybe I lose my iman. Which is better? Is Iman better, or losing the, slipping in a trap of shaitan? That is. So it is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He clearly says that here in Hadith Qudsi, that some of the mu'mineen who are my servants, juzba faqr, I have to provide poverty in order that their Iman is righteous. If I make them rich, they will lose their Iman. بعضی از بندگان مؤمنم جز غنی و ثروتمندی جز دیگری برای ایمانش صلاح نیست. And it is not right for some of the rich people to make them poor, because they will lose their iman. و اگر او را فقر کنم ایمانش را فاسد می کند. If I make them poor, their iman will become fasid. Then the Hadith Qudsi continues. و بعضی از بندگان مؤمنم ایمانش جز با مرض اصلاح نمی شود. Some of the mu'mineen, their iman is righteous or become righteous, islah is rectified by marad, by making them ill. If I make them ill, and if they are ill, their iman become righteous. Iman become righteous. و اگر جسمش را خوب کنم ایمانش فاسد می شود. اگر if their body becomes خوب, their iman will become fasid. Then he goes, ایمان بعضی از بندگان مؤمنم ایمانش جز با صحت اصلاح نمی شود. But for some of them, it is the health. Their iman will not be islah, righteous, rectified. و اگر او را مریض کنم ایمانش فاسد می شود. به راستی من بندگانم را تدبیر می کنم چون به دلهای ایشون عالم هستم. And I do the tadbir. I sort of like, plan or understand the bandegan, my servants. I understand them, and as I understand them, I have that knowledge of them, then I kind of, prepare for them. I do that tadbir. I plan for them, for their betterment. That's what it is. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. We have said that earlier previously we have discussed that. Allah doesn't test a person unless he has the capacity of that. So, from our side, that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore every individual must try his level best in accordance to the way that God have provided, and considered at that to be halal, proper means, correct means to fulfill their responsibility of this world and of the hereafter. And if he reaches that, fabiha. If he doesn't reach that, then there is no maslahat. Then it is not for him to really have that as such. A person tries his level best from his point of view, but it doesn't happen, so there is no maslahat for him. Perhaps there is something that is not right for him, which he has to do sabr, which he has to surrender to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But from his side, he has to try. It is not like that he should not try. He should work hard, he should try his level best to really fulfill that. Now, if he is unable to do so, then there is something not for him. Perhaps there is no manavi benefit in it, because biyadika la biyadi ghayrik nafsi biyadika la biyadi ghayrik ziyadati wa naqsi wa naf'i wa dharri, because it is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is quite easy to understand to certain extent, and easy to say as well, and easy to recite as well, but to practice, but to really behave in that patientful way when one doesn't achieve that is very difficult. That requires that understanding of Tawheed. Imam Hussein, he is trying all his level best to really, reach that, establish that wilayat, establish that hukumat Islami, to establish that truthfulness, that righteousness, right? He went with that all sort of understanding that this is the path and this is the way to do it, right? But outwardly, he was unable to do so. For example, he did not win the battle, but inwardly it was in the hands of God. Now he is the Sultan of the Alam. He is the Sultan of Ishq. He is the Sultan of humanity. Whoever knows Imam Hussein, one surrenders to Imam Hussein. But outwardly, nobody surrendered to Imam Hussein in 61 Hijrah or that battle that have taken place, right? But when it comes to the truth, to be the Sultan, of the hearts, that it was in the hands of God, and God fulfilled that, right? So, but to be patient when one sees that, musibat, that difficulty, it is a task of a person who is muttaqi. As we have said earlier, ma asaba min musibatin famin Allah. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَهْدِي قَلْبَهُ. The musibatun, whatsoever that may be, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the one who is God conscious, God wary, who has muttaqi, God will guide him. Now, وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ حَسَنَةٌ يَقُولُوا هَذِهِ مِنْ إِنْدِ اللَّهِ. It says that if something good have reached you, you say, هذه من عند الله. This good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ يَقُولُ هذه من عندك. And if something negative, if a loss or something bad happens, then say that this is from sayya, happens, then say that this is from me. It is not from God, right? قل كل من عند الله فما هؤلاء القوم لا يكادون يفقهون حديثا ما أصابك من حسنة فمن الله وما أصابك من سيئة فمن نفسك. So whatsoever negative thing will happen, it is because of the actions of human being. When a human being goes against the Sharia, against the teachings of God, against what God have asked for him to carry out, then there is an effect of that. Like for example, there was a qawm who was not listening to, to the commandments of God, to the Prophet. Then Allah, because as they were not listening, the reaction of not listening was the azab of God. God does not do azab or become qahhar, without any reason. Without any reason, he does not become that. He's adil, he is merciful, right? So now, because of their actions, they will see zalzale, they will see all of these azabs taking place. So now, as we said, that we will discuss the aspect of evil and shar here a bit in detail. What is the reality of shurur? What is the reality of evil, of loss? So while using this example, or while using this verse, it says that if there be a loss, if there be an evil, it is from you, because you have not fulfilled the commandments of God, and this is the repercussion. This is the effect of your action that you see. Now, one would say that, I'm sorry, I have done to my level best, to my capacity to take care of things from the Sharia point of view, but still I'm facing problems, but still I'm facing loss. We are regarding that as loss. That is not loss. That is, on the other hand, a test from God and reward for the person. If we look at from that point of view, we'll say Imam Hussein, the Masoom, Imam Hussein and all the ashab who did their best, who were the best of all. None of the ashab not the Prophet's ashab, not my father ashab, not my brother ashab. We're like you, Imam Hussein is mentioning to his ashab, right? They were the best of the best. They did the best of the best things. Imam Hussein also, Ahl Bayt, the family of Imam Hussein also. But they faced all of those troubles and trials and tribulation, right? They faced all these difficulties. Now, can we say that, oh, na'uzubillah, they were going against the Sharia? No. But when they face that, even after fulfilling all of their responsibilities, outwardly it is looking at as shar, as loss, but in reality there is such a goodness in it. There's so much of reward in it. Asa an takrahu shay'an, Quran also says that, right? Wa huwa khairun lakum. Asa an tuhibbu shay'an wa huwa sharrun lakum. There will be a thing that you regarded as shar, but wa huwa khairun lakum. But there is khair in it. Asa an tuhibbu shay'an. There is a thing that you regarded and you love it, you like it, but within it there is shar in it. Be wary of it, be careful of it, right? So this shar and hub, goodness and evil, is a relative thing, but whatsoever God provides, it is khair, it is always good, because God is not the God of evil. God cannot do injustice and evil things. When we compare things to one and the another, then we say that, oh, okay, this is less, this is more. But if there be no comparison as such, everything is perfect in its own way. Everything is according to the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I always like to tell this story to our viewers, to our brothers and sisters, especially to our young ones, and that is, Musa used to speak to God, and he goes to the mountain and he says, oh Allah, why did you create cockroaches? We don't like roaches at all, right? We hate the cockroaches, right? So, oh Allah, why did you create cockroaches? Then God replied to Moses, very interesting, because the cockroach just asked me that, why did you create human beings? So everything is according to the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a need of cockroaches, there is a need of lizards and mice, and also human beings as well. Now, there could be imbalance. Now, this imbalance that takes place is because of the human error. Is because when man listens to his nafs, to his soul, and in order for the benefit, in order for the capital, dumps the oil waste into the ocean by killing the sea life. Then man creates things that will damage the ozone layer, thinking that there is benefit in it for the capital of it. Now they come and they will say that, let's go green, let's go solar, right? It is the man, it is the human being, and the zarar that is coming to human being is by his own hands, right? This environment, as we are closer to Dawul Arab, which is the day where the earth came out, where earth spreads on the ocean, God have given nature as trust, as amanat to human being. Look what insan have done to this amanat, to this nature. It has polluted it, it has corrupted it, it has reached to a point where it is at a verge of cutting open, at cleaving, at breaking and bursting, because of what human beings have done, thinking that it is advancement, it is development. Let's send a satellite in the space. For what? To spy? Which God have asked you, spying is no good. But you went against the will of God. In any religion, if you go, spying is no good. In Hinduism, in Christianity, in Judaism, in Islam, any faith, in the nature of man, in the fitrat-e-insan, it is against the nature of man. But in order to spy, you have destroyed the environment. You are using things that is destroying human life, that is destroying the nature. There is so much of waste in the space right now. If all this waste comes down on this earth, it will be like, bomb falling down from the sky on all over the world, on every corner of the world, and destroying human life. Who have done it? We have sent this satellites in space. And now just little qanoon ilahi, if something changes in terms of the gravity, in terms of, if those things that are around the earth, which are junk, which are satellites, which are all we have polluted it, if it comes in the gravity of the earth and it pulls, we have destroyed it. Who have done this? Who have done this? It is ourselves, right? So for what? In order to spy, in order to thinking that we are advancing, in order to have that power, that greed, right? Now this zarar and this loss is from our side, right? That's why ilahi in haramtani faman dhalladhi yarzuqani, ilahi in khadaltani faman dhalladhi yansurani. The next verse talks about it. Really, human beings, if they were given the ikhtiyar, imagine God would have said, okay, biyadika la biyadi ghayrik, all the loss and profit and benefit whatsoever come, it's not in God's hand. As these Mutazilites, they have this belief that God have created the creation, has left ikhtiyar in the insan, and then eventually he will take. Or the Asharites, who believe that no, God is the one who's, is predestination. But the Imamites, the Imami school is in between. Now, for example, if everything was left without intervention, without support, without aid, without representation of God through the prophets, through the imams, right? Man would have killed himself, would have, destroyed, as we see today, where man, if God would have created us and let go, we would have destroyed us by killing each other. We would have destroyed us by killing each other. But biyadika la biyadi ghayrik. So we have to come to this understanding, oh Allah, from my side, I do my level best to Allah. Now it is in your hand, oh my Lord, to really take care of things. What is in the ikhtiyar of insan? When that hour comes, he is lying in bed. He cannot even move his finger. He cannot even move his head. It is that hour. So we have to pray for that hour. We have to have that belief, that understanding. Oh Allah, it is in your hand. Everything is in your hand. Nothing. If you have given me health, it is you. If you have made me walk, it is you. Now when I come to terms, when I understand that fully with my heart, now I am facing this test and this illness, or I am on the bed breathing the last breath, then I would say that, and I'm trying to move my hand or speak, for example, I will become upset, depressed, sad that I cannot do that. But if I say that, oh Allah, it was you, I will just tasleem. I would, I will say, as it says in the future of this dua which will come, oh Allah, you have showed me beauty in this dunya, and I am expecting that you will show me beauty in the hereafter. I have this husn zan. You have always done good to me, O Lord, and whatever you do is khair, O Lord. So we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, biyadika la biyadi ghayrik. With that sincerity, we have to come to the understanding of this. Inshallah, we'll continue on this munajat Shabaniya. We haven't really looked into the next verse in Haramtani, different types of rizq, rizqai manavi, rizqai dunyawi. Then what does the difference between, what does a rizq would do? Ilahi in khadaltani, the help of God, the nusrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does the nusrat and help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do in order for the rizq? Inshallah, in our next session. Thank you very much for joining us. غفر الله لنا ولكم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us, forgive you and all our marhumin, and mahshur them, increase the daraja of our marhumin in barzakh with Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam, inshallah, and haste the reappearance of our 12th Imam, and include us as the helper and supporters of the 12th Imam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.